Welcome back, my name's Storm's Fury and welcome back to Unity for Our Children. Unity being the underlined word there. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of us over the next few days. I actually came on because someone sent me something quite interesting which I'll get to in a second. But something I didn't say in the previous video. It seems that back in the old days the leftist elite had a pretty much monopoly on paedophile rings, child abuse, and it seems to be happening again. So you seem to have multiple paedophile rings from you know, the traditional white paedophile rings to the Muslim grooming gangs and the religious the other religious groups. A lot of it more provable now, and thanks to Jimmy Savile being dead, and what's come out of that has been useful. But the fact of it is, people are still covering all these things up. What's interesting is, in talking, I think it was to Katie the other day and a few other people, I've spoken to teachers that have told me they're not allowed to, like when I was at school, you get stood up, told off. Not allowed to do that because it's singling someone out, making them feel bullied. I think it was Kate or someone was telling me the other day, you know, you can't, if your kid does wrong, you can't punish them by, especially if social services are involved, you can't punish them by taking something away from them and maybe making them go to their room, because it's almost like a false imprisonment, and it goes on and on and on. Parents. This is what the right and centre were always worried about, was the government would have too much control about how you made love to your wife and how you brought up your children, and they certainly have got that second one really nailed down. So teachers find themselves with their hands tied behind their back, although half of them are leftists anyway. And parents certainly are. And there also seems to be something else in the parent culture. I don't know if other people notice, but a lot of parents, especially single parents, I say more men, they're frightened of saying one word to their children, and that one word is no. But nevertheless, all these things, all these little punishments and everything else, I mean, there has to be some kind of consequence, doesn't there, for when a child does wrong. But all these things are kind of being banned or frowned upon at very minimum. And yet, when you go to the other side of the spectrum, and that is a child comes downstairs and says, oh, I want to be a woman. We've all done stuff like that when we were kids, and our parents said, well, you can't be. You're who you are. But these days, parents jump on it and say, okay, we'll send you to school in a dress tomorrow. Giving children hormone treatments and hormone treatments and operations to change their sex before they're even 16 or 18, surely under any other circumstance would be considered to be child abuse, considering there's no facts to prove that they are anything different than any other child. Other than maybe the way their mind is, and at the ages that this is starting to happen now, you have to look more at some of the parents and the teaching than you do at the child. But that's the parents' responsibility, isn't it? There has to be one grown up in the house, and the worrying thing is, yes, there's so many things that I think we once would have called, we would have screamed child abuse. Many things that are totally acceptable, and yet the very simple punishments don't seem to be allowed. Now that's beyond me, and I don't know how to reconcile that. But you know, and then on the other hand, you have, as Katie was saying the other day, just in the northeast alone, 38,000 children being displaced from the homes and put into forced adoption. So that's just the 38,000 that put into forced adoption, by the way. That probably doesn't tally the homeless, the ones involved in grooming gangs, paedophile rings, all those kinds of things. So the numbers you're looking at, I mean, they said for the grooming gangs, for the Islamic grooming gangs, I think they said the minimum figure for the victims was 250,000 minimum, and they suspected it was around 1 million. So then if you add that to the forced adoption, to all the other things, you are looking at a very, very ugly picture for our children. If you need to, if you're wondering why a station like this needs to happen, why the unity needs to happen, it's because if any of us really truly care about these kids, then we have to look at the one case is too many, but the sheer numbers when you start adding up all the different types of use, different cases, we are talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions. How is that even possible in our country in this day and age? It's possible because it's been allowed to happen, it's been encouraged to happen, and it's mind-blowing. Anyway, so it's just something to think about. Again, so I'm only rough and ready at the moment because obviously I'm still setting up for this channel. But someone sent me, I don't normally do this, but someone sent me a poem written by someone called Ian Josephs, and I'm going to play you something, and I'm going to read this, just because I think some of you will appreciate it. So, or maybe not. No, I was actually trying to turn the camera around then, but I can't, so I wanted to show you something in the background, but never mind. It says, I am a social worker. I am really very nice. I help you, right, to start again. Sorry, I got distracted by saying a screen. Right, I am a social worker. I'm really very nice. I help you loving mothers and give you good advice. Your partner has departed. Your income is too low. I'm really very sorry, or your kids will have to go. Your partner was abusive. He beat you black and blue. But we'll soon be there to help you, and I'll take your children too. You'll have a learning problem. You're really not too clever. We'll get your kids adopted. When can you see them? Never. Your son is hyperactive. You need a brief respite. We will soon take all your children. Give up the hopeless fight. Your child was taken into care so many years ago. If now you have a baby, that too will have to go. Foster parents love your kids. To get some more they seek. For each one brings a tidy sum, £400 a week. Children's homes are run by us, where paedophiles abound. Each time we cover up abuse, the gutter press come around. They said adoptions work the best. We soon proved that they would. Fathers shout and mothers cry that their kids are gone for good. What happens in our special courts? Our experts, they will say, you're a danger to your children, so we'll take them all away. Your children may be healthy, happy and well fed, but one day you might hurt them. That's what our experts said. The judges know that we are right. With us they will agree. They dare not risk another course. You have no chance, you see. Our special courts are secret, so you don't breathe a word of what goes on inside those walls, no matter how absurd. We'll get your kids adopted, and don't you dare complain, or you'll end up in prison, and I won't say that again. We have adoption targets. They must be met, you see. Failure means a reprimand, so spare a thought for me. It's by Ian Josephs, and it made me think of the interview that I did with Katie and Chris the other day. And in here, in this, I didn't read out very well, it refers to gagging orders, it refers to absolutely most parts we actually spoke about in that conversation. I didn't put that video on here. Oh no, actually, no, it is on here. I think Chris put it up. So it's the interview with Zero News, Katie and Chris TR. That interview with the three of us there. I mean, this poem by Ian Josephs is absolutely perfect for the conversations, and I'm still taking some of the stuff in that we talked about the other day. You know, the fact that they are getting money to do this, the fact that there must be targets, the fact that they seem to almost enjoy doing this. They enjoy if you was to go back 40 years, could anybody have imagined back then that the government would have had so much power to interfere with your ability to raise your children? I mean, when I was at school, the teachers could pull your hair and stuff. I'm not saying that was a good thing. What I am saying is we've gone way, way, way too far the other way, and our children are no safer. All these do-gooder university professors and teachers and all these other people, they worry about all the smallest things, minorities and everything else, but they can't keep the bulk of our children safe. So what good are they? What good are they? And yet they're willing to come to mothers who I've now begun to meet and have known in my own life who are natural mothers having their children ripped away from them. And sometimes, in some cases, yes, some of them have made a mistake. One mistake. And they never get to see the child again through a mistake. And some of those mistakes really aren't that bad. And in normal life, probably some of those mistakes would have been learnt from had social services and that not had their nose involved. And I find it incredible how many people are prepared to phone social services on someone else over the most trivial thing. And you really should think, if you're going to phone social services up, make sure it's not because you've got a bone to pick with the person next door to you. Make sure it's because you're sure those children are being beaten or something. Because just to do it as a spiteful thing, once the social services have got hold of you, they don't let go. And they will. It's a bit like if I go and look at a computer that's running well. If someone says to me, "Find a problem," I'll find a problem because I'll go through. I'll scour it until I do find one. And it's the same kind of thing. Once you've got social services around, you're never going to be up to their standards because they're making the rules up as they go along in terms of what they're looking for. And what they're looking for is a chance to take your children and to put them into forced adoption. So as I said, we've got all these multiple problems, and this is why we need to unite. This is no joke. We're in a real fight, and we're losing. Again, like all the stuff I talk about on my channel on Zero News, we are losing. And I can tell you that simply because if there's a potential of up to 1 million victims from grooming gangs, if there's 38,000 kids just in the northeast being put into forced adoption, and an untold number involved in elitist paedophile rings, then where do we stand? How many children are safe? How many children are safe? And that doesn't include children being radicalised and pulled into groups and things that we would never have been. It's frightening, and if it doesn't frighten you, either you've got nerves of steel or you're just not seeing the full picture. But it's really important that you do, and you start sharing these videos and sharing particularly this YouTube channel, Unity for Our Children. Unity being, sorry, my lights just turned off. Unity being the big thing. Whoever you are, if you're one of us, if you're a creator, this is not my site to run, but if you're a creator, please get hold of, actually I've got the email here somewhere, please get hold of one of us via Children Matter, all one big long word, childrenmatter.team@gmail.com, and you can contact me at thisiszeronews@gmail.com. contact us and speak to us. And again, if you've got a story or something that you feel needs to be spoken about, or if you have something that people have kept you quiet over and you want it out there. Something that Katie said the other day is there's a lot of gagging orders going around. If you want to get your story out and you're not gagged, then get it out while you can, because as Katie was saying, once it's out, they can't take it back. Even if they gag you, the information is out there and your child can't disappear into the ether. Just worth thinking about. I will do some better videos than what I've done so far, but these were just again just to get us going, but that doesn't mean I'm not serious about the content that's in them. So yeah, and I'm just going to leave it like that, but there's just a few things there I actually think are worth thinking about, especially moving forward. So we'll leave it there. My name's Storm's Fury. This is the Unity for Our Children channel, and we need that unity, and we need the support, and we need the subs. The likes and subscribe, the likes, sorry, are all great, but we need the subs. That's what we really need. So share and sub, share and sub, share and sub. My name is Storm's Fury, and I'm calling it a day for now.